Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Chrissy Small, and some of the stories coming up in today's news: information sessions, public reaction, Kiwi film a hit, a rat and a wire warning, and more. The NZTA have had their last two feedback sessions on the business case and proposed preferred options for the road network in Nelson. Last week they were in Te Hunanui Conference Centre at Te Hunanui Motor Camp. There was a turnout of around 20 people, and Graham O'Brien was there asking some of those attending their thoughts about the meeting.
Gillian, how do you feel about the feedback consultation sessions they're doing here, and how about the Southern Link itself?
The feedback consultation sessions seem good. There's some good information on what options they're considering. In terms of the Southern Link itself, I'm with the Cycle Trail Trust, so our big project, I guess, is the Great Taste Trail, Tasman Great Taste Trail, and our real concern is a decent cycle walking shared pathway between the airport and the city. And until we get that, until we can put cyclists off the road, we won't be supporting the coastal route as a route for the Great Taste Trail. We say that people should go over the hill and through the railway reserve because that's the safest way to go for cyclists, and which is a pity because the scenic way to bring people into the city is around the.
I think it's really good. We have the opportunity to see what the plans are and make our choices based on the information, and I'm very much a supporter of the Southern Link. Yeah, I think with the growth that Nelson is going to be going through and is going through now, tourism numbers, residents, I think we do need a very good solution that's going to be here for a long period of time.
Oh, I think it's great that people are being invited to participate in the process, and the guys are really keen to listen. All the options are really clearly laid out, so that's great. I'm certainly in favour of an option like the Southern Link that takes 400 or 500 trucks a day off Rocks Road and makes it a much more user-friendly space for the people and visitors to the city.
I see you bike around quite a bit. How do you feel about biking? You think it'd be better around there rather than over the railway reserve?
I actually use both areas, so I'm familiar with commuting down Waimea Road and the Railway Reserve and through Rocks Road, and definitely the trucks are pretty intimidating. Even myself, I ride a lot, but it's not a pleasant experience to be sharing a very tight space with those sort of vehicles. So yeah.
You think it's worthwhile just trying to get the bikes off the road? Would that be a good alternative?
You're always going to have to cross a road. You're going to have to join on and off at some point. So I actually think it's removing the trucks from the space that bikes or walkers or commuters are going to be on is more the solution than trying to put a side shared pathway that bikes and walkers are all going to have to share together, and then you're going to have to cross on and off from roads onto those shared spaces, which is often quite a challenging and dangerous time. So I'm not sure if I favour that.
Martin, how do you feel about the feedback session here that NZTA is running, and what do you think of the Southern Link in particular?
Well, it's good to see local community come out and give their opinions. Fundamentally, I think I don't want to see diesel exhaust collecting in a valley where people live. I think it's far better to have it blowing out to sea or over the sparsely populated hills of Rocks Road.
And what do you think of the feedback sessions here?
Oh, I think they're very good. The team have a good set of documents and answers for our questions. Yeah.
Kendra, how do you feel about the NZTA feedback sessions so far, and how do you feel about the Southern Link in general?
Well, delighted that NZTA decided that they would come into the communities that would be most likely affected. That's what they said they would do at the beginning, so that they've honoured that finally is great. Quite a few people have been arriving over the last hour or so. They've set up. There's certainly lots of good conversations going on. So a great opportunity for people to understand more about how to make a submission, because it could be as simple as an email. It doesn't have to be on their forms, does it? Yeah. So that's, I think, really helpful. And in fact, there'll be a community meeting here on Wednesday night. Just some local people are saying they want to help, especially sort of like what we call ESOL families, the former refugees, and for people who English is their second language, a feedback form is really difficult. So that's a nice process to add to it. And in fact, a couple of the migrant workers and ethnic community workers are here as well tonight, so they can go back to their communities and understand it. Because many people, especially new people to Nelson, have gone, what do you mean they're talking about putting a road down here? You know, I'm quite bewildered by it. And some people, of course, have come to the centre and they've said, well, where would this road be? And so I say, well, look where the trees are there. Like, yes, the chain fence is here, which is kind of like the physical boundary for the school, but the actual road reserve ends at that fence line, which you can see right there. And it's almost right beside the buildings that are all along that boundary. A real worry. And the other aspect, of course, is that there are 3 schools that are on this route, as well as 4 early childhood centres. So any kind of mitigation around double glazing, air conditioning to deal with the levels of pollution would be just hideous.
John, how do you feel about the feedback sessions, and what do you think of the Southern Link in particular?
Well, first of all, the feedback I think is probably quite hard to follow because it's in like different little groups there, and I think that there's nothing quite feasible enough to get a grasp of. And I think that probably could be improved a bit more about educating the people on the Southern Link than maybe what's happening at the moment. Yeah.
And how about the Southern Link, and what do you think about the Southern Link going through here?
Well, what I've been finding since we come back from England, that the city's divided, not only divided in the council, but divided regionally. There are those that are on the west side of Princess Drive, and there are those on the east side of Princess Drive, and so the battle's divided the whole city. So we have quite a divided city, really, rather than sitting down and getting together to work out what is the best plan for the city for the Southern Link. And what I've seen overseas is that the Waimea Road could easily be made into a 2-lane in and 1 lane out in the morning, and 2 lane out in the evening and 1 lane in by controlled traffic lights. And we need to educate the people, use the arteries rather than everybody just stay on the road into town. We've got Vanguard Street, St Vincent Street, we've got Collingwood Street, use those as arteries, and I think that would alleviate the whole problem of the traffic congestion, and leave Rocks Road alone, really, just sort it out for the cycling, and not spend all this money that they're talking about putting new roads in. And I think it's a very simple solution, really.
What did you think of the feedback sessions, and how do you feel about the Southern Link in particular?
I've just moved to Nelson, so this is my first encounter with also the feedback on the Southern Link, and I've heard a bit of the background. I think the sessions overall are good. It's a shame that a lot of people aren't able to make it, because it's also the kind of time that if you have children, you're not able to make this time. I think overall I wasn't completely happy with the feedback form because it's quite complicated. So for people who haven't done any engineering, it's quite detailed. And there's a lot of issues being described in it, which sometimes obscures what really the matter is, which I believe is still also looking at the option to build a Southern Link, which is a road that takes through Victory and the Toitoi area. And I've just moved here, and I think it's a wonderful community and definitely not a place for a road. So I came tonight to get some more information.
It's still not too late to give your ideas on how to improve Nelson's arterial transport network, with the New Zealand Transport Agency inviting feedback up to Sunday the 24th of April. The Transport Agency is encouraging people in the Nelson area to make their voices heard on how to improve Nelson's transport network and solve 2 identified issues: congestion and accessibility. The public can still fill out the feedback form, which is available at the Richmond and Nelson Public Libraries or via the Transport Agency's website. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and it seems this could be said in the case of the Trafalgar Centre, which, it has just been announced, will require a new roof at a further cost of $600,000 of ratepayers' money from the council's risk allocation budget. It seems that severe corrosion has been discovered in the main stadium roof overlaps, and a suggestion by engineer Richard Kirby that a new roof be put over top of the existing should give additional benefits of insulation as well as soundproofing, while adding 40 to 50 years of life to the roof. The roof cost is in addition to the $12.95 million budgeted for the rebuild, but wait, there's more it seems. Nelsonians could see another $270,000 added further to the do-up spend, taking the cost well over $13 million, with some locals suggesting that the total cost could run close to $20 million. Nelson police arrested a 52-year-old man on Monday evening following a report of indecent assault on a woman in Richmond. The alleged assault happened around 11:30 a.m. after the man approached the elderly woman at her home and asked for a glass of water. He has since been charged with indecent assault and is to appear in the Nelson District Court this week. Detective Senior Sergeant Craig Johnson said the man is believed to have been riding a bicycle around the Richmond and Appleby area, and police are keen to hear from anyone else who may have been approached by the same man, and anyone who has concerns they would like to raise should call Nelson Police on 546 3840. The community here and in Perth, Australia have rallied in support after a Help Bring Baby Ellen Home Facebook page achieved its goal to bring the body of Motueka man Alan Brunning home for burial from Australia. Brunning was killed in what has been called a domestic incident in Perth, and a 40-year-old woman is now facing charges relating to his murder. A total of $10,261 donations locally and from donators in Australia had been raised by Thursday last week before arrangements were made to have Alan's body flown to New Zealand. A flight left late Monday evening this week, arriving in Christchurch Tuesday morning, where whānau were waiting to then drive his body back to Motueka. His funeral is to be held on the Te Awhina Marae in Motueka on Thursday. A warning from Fire Buddy as winter approaches. Rodents begin to take up residence in homes. A fire that ripped through a home in Canterbury recently was likely caused by exposed electrical wires arcing. Investigations found it was likely caused by a cable that had been chewed by rats under the house, which is also a suspected cause of the fire that destroyed Golden Bay artist Chris Finlayson's home and years of artworks last year. Unfortunately, these are not isolated cases and is another cause of fire in the home that we all need to be wary of. Trapping is one of the best ways to get rid of rats fast. You can take a humane trap and put bait in it to attract the rat. Peanut butter and cheese are one of the rat's favourites. As the rat tries to eat this, it will get caught in the trap. You can add boric acid into the peanut butter to make it more effective. However, you must wear latex gloves while using this remedy. Now, some do's that you should do is always keep your home and attic clean, seal all the possible entries of the rats using a chalking gun, keep your garbage cans neat and cover them with a lid, remove all food leftovers and grease from barbecue grills. When you experience the presence of these rodents, do clean the floor with a solution of bleach and water to safeguard your family from any disease. The top rule for using any rat trap is to use plenty of traps. You may need more traps than you think is warranted when trapping, as the rat population is usually larger than expected. Taika Waititi's adventure comedy Hunt for the Wilder People, from the book by Barry Crump, has broken New Zealand box office records by opening with the largest opening weekend ever for a New Zealand film, with a box office take of $1,300,000 New Zealand dollars. We asked Nelson State Theatre's Mark Christensen if these figures are also reflected in local attendance.
Well, Mark, how would you describe the genre of this movie?
Well, really, it's a homage to the last 30 years of New Zealand filmmaking, and in many ways, for Sam Neill, it must seem like he's come round a full circle, because he started out in a film called Sleeping Dogs, where he played a man in the bush with a gun, a lone man, and here he is playing an older man in the bush with a gun. But it's got a lot of Goodbye Pork Pie in it. It's got a little bit of Smash Palace in it. Obviously, it's got a lot of Taika's style with Boy and so on. And the grand finale is from a completely non-New Zealand film, which is Thelma and Louise, with Toyotas thrown in. And, of course, the Barry Crump ads, It's a pretty interesting film.
And, I'm often hearing people want to see the movie more than once. How are you finding the response of the Nelson film goers?
Oh, some of them are coming back 4 times or more. Nelson has performed really well. We're very high up in the national stakes with this film. We increased from the first week to the second week, more than double the national increase. The film lifted from the first week to the second week, which is a really good sign. It means good word of mouth is moving. And it hasn't yet dropped back to week 1 yet, so we're in week 3 now, so it's going really well.
For those that haven't seen the movie, does it, poke at any sacred cows, New Zealand sacred cows?
Lots. If you want to see some rather graphic depictions of our pig hunting sport, this is the film to see. But it's got so much that relates to the lifestyle that we all know and understand in New Zealand.
The film's had the highest box office earnings for a New Zealand film, so we see that it's had a success in New Zealand. Do you think it's going to have the same success overseas?
Well, it smashed the previous record for a New Zealand opening, which was Boy, which was Taiko's other film. So he's broken his own record. But this film screened at the Sundance Film Festival. It had the premiere screening on the Friday night in the biggest auditorium at the Sundance Film Festival and got rave reviews in the States. So although it's really hard to predict what could happen overseas, I'm really hoping that this one will be the one that breaks through.
Anything you wanted to say to people that haven't seen the movie?
Well, there's a lot of reasons you should come and see this movie, and one of the things that I'm really, really happy to be, association that we have is that the producer of the movie, Carthew Neal, used to work at the State Cinema.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
What's the fastest way out of here? Jetpack!
Do you actually have a jetpack?
No? What?
We asked people in Nelson if they'd seen the movie and what they had thought of it.
Have you heard about or intending to see Hunt for the Wilder People?
No.
Absolutely, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the crowds to die down, and then me and my whole family, we're all keen, we're all going.
If they asked me, yes, I would.
No, I haven't heard anything about that movie.
Director Taika Waititi said that the movie beat his last movie Boy's opening weekend box office, which made him kind of sad. However, he said he got over it really quickly and was stoked. And on the topic of film, local country music artist Ali Cook is following on from her Australian Top 40 Country Tracks chart #1 hit, Midnight Cowboys, and is releasing her third single from her second album, Horseshoe Rodeo, Message in a Cloud. We leave you now with her new single, filmed in its entirety only 2 weeks ago on the edge of the Kahurangi National Park.
Here comes the rain passing through.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more.
JCar. 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum. For budding performers or people that just want to give it a go, there's a free talk and mask workshop on the 28th of April 2016 at the Elmer Turner Library in Nelson. Workshop times are 10 a.m. until noon. The youth workshop is from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. There's no cost, but numbers are very limited. If you wish to register, contact Lloyd at Nelson Arts Council. New history panels celebrating Nelson's peace movement will be unveiled at the Peace Grove on Saturday the 23rd of April at 12 p.m. It's at the Peace Grove behind Miyazu Gardens. Parking by Miyazu Gardens, there's footpath access off Trafalgar Cycleway. If it's raining, a gathering will be held instead at Founders Heritage Park. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more.
JCar. 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 5464084.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.